screen during the recordings. And I'll post my recordings right here to Blackboard. Okay. Another really important piece of news for you guys is something to bring is a laptop. Okay, because I'm going to be doing quite a bit of coding here pretty much every day, and I want you guys to follow along. Right? So it's really important to have a laptop so that you can follow along. And I'm also going to be doing some online quizzes, or actually interactive quizzes. So that also requires either a laptop or a smartphone. And we'll go through all that in a minute. But very first thing is definitely bring a laptop. Okay? All right, so all of my course content is here within Blackboard. So you can see what we're doing day by day. Here's our schedule. So this is week 1. This is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. All right, so you can look ahead, see exactly what we're doing. And whenever you click on one of these things, this takes you to the actual assignment that you're going to be doing. Okay. So that's the general layout. Everything is here. Let's start with our favorite first day thing to do, which is the syllabus. It's always exciting. Gotta love that. All right, so C++. This is an introductory class, so you don't really need to have any programming experience at all. That's good, right? All right, good. So I will introduce you to all the basics of programming, and all the basics of programming are going to be introduced through C++. If you do have some programming experience, don't worry, this won't be too super easy, because I'm also going to, when I assign projects, I'll assign some extra credit pieces to the project just to challenge you. So if you feel like some of this is review, hopefully some of the challenges will at least be able to push you a little bit so you can learn even more. Okay. All right, so that's all that stuff. Here's my information. Like I said, my name is David Zajcik. I've been teaching here at Chico State for, I think, 5 years now. Before that, I worked in the information security group here on campus, and actually, I am still working in the information security group. So if you see me on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm actually not your teacher, instructor anymore. I'm wearing my information security hat, so I work here on campus, over in the library. So if you see me on Tuesday and Thursday, over in the library, I'm actually working in the information security group. Anybody know we had an information security group? Did you get in trouble? Okay. All right, so only a couple. Yeah, so what do? We watch you guys, right? No, I'm just kidding. We're not NSA. We're just making sure everything on campus is secure and people aren't breaking into it. That's kind of the overview of the job. Mostly educating other users of the most secure way of using their servers and their computers. That's the basics. All right, what else can I tell you about myself? So I've also worked in industry. So I've worked at Oracle Corporation. Anyone here of Oracle? Yeah? All right, what does Oracle do? Database, exactly. So they're the biggest database company in the world. So I worked for them for a couple years. I actually did consulting for them, and then also I was an instructor for them. So I spent a couple years teaching about Oracle products. I've worked at San Diego State for a little bit as a lecturer, and now I'm here as a lecturer. The other classes that I teach besides this one is, guess what, a computer security class. So I teach a intro computer security class and an advanced computer security class. So I've got both of those this semester as well. So my Monday, Wednesday, Fridays are pretty packed. So I've got 4 classes those days. Any questions about my history? Okay, well, I should probably introduce Jaime. Jaime is also here. He is going to be with you guys during the labs. So he's going to be your lab instructor. With him, he'll also have an assistant that'll help him, because usually labs can be a little bit crazy with trying to get help from just one person. You'll have 2 people to get help from. Do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
A little bit. I also teach here in the computer science department. My areas are more in Linux and databases. And hopefully I'll see some of you in other classes. Anybody taking databases? Probably not, because usually that's after you take another programming class. But I've also been here for not as much as David, maybe 3 years, and looking forward for the semester. Get to know everybody.
You know what I didn't put on here, Jaime, was your office. Is it 210?
Yeah, it's 208.
208. All right,
So
it's right next door to my office. So here's my office information. I'm in O'Connell 209. That means you just got to go upstairs, head that way, and I'm over in that direction, that side of the building. So I'm in 209. My office hours, I'll be in there right after this class, so from 9 to 10. For those of you in the 9 a.m. lab, I also have another time for office hours at 11. So I'll be in my office Monday and Wednesday from 9 to 10 and 11 to a little before 12. Okay? If that doesn't work for you, please let me know. You can email me and I can schedule another time to meet with you. I am pretty busy though, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, but I can try and find some other time to meet with you guys, probably sometime after 3 if you do need to meet during office hours. Okay? I highly encourage you to come to office hours. I will help you with your programs. Look through your code. You guys get, spend an hour on one little bug in your code. Don't spend another hour. Try and come and talk to me, and I'll try and help you through that. Also, same for Jaime, because we don't want you to be frustrated with your programming. We want you to actually, progress. So feel free to meet with me during office hours so I can help you whenever you guys do get stuck, or if there's a concept you don't understand. That's what my office hours are there for, to help you. Okay. All right, more information. Here is my cell phone number, and I specifically say for texting. So if you do have a question about some type of emergency, like, I don't know, you're driving here for the midterm and you get a flat. I've had that before. I want to know so I know that you're not going to be able to make it on time so we can reschedule. So I'm very happy to reschedule tests before they happen rather than after. All right, so it's much better to tell me before that test starts that you won't be here. So that's why I have my cell phone number. If you can't make it, tell me beforehand. Okay. Here is my email address. I do check my email all the time, so definitely feel free to email me with questions as well if you can't make it to an office hour. Okay. All right, so there's Jaime's information, his email address. The lab TA that we'll have in there is Jake. That's his information. Here's the Blackboard information. All right, so here's the good stuff. All the stuff that we'll be doing during this semester. And this correlates to what you saw on that schedule, right? But it's going to explain it a little bit more. So I've got all kinds of work for you guys to do. It's great, right? The best way to learn is to actually do it. So the first thing that you're going to have are projects. You're going to have 6 projects throughout the semester. So these are kind of longer programs that you're going to do. These are individual projects, so you're going to work on this project by yourself. It'll be your own code. And that counts towards 40% of your grade. Okay? So 40% of your grade are those 6 projects that you're going to do. Now, I did put you guys into groups, right? And I said you guys are going to work with each other in groups. That still applies for the project in that if you get stuck with something, on something, you can ask one of your group members for help, or you can ask us for help, right? The big difference between asking for too much help and doing it yourself is that if you know all of the code in your project, then you didn't ask for too much help, right? So if you really understand everything there and you really did write it all, then I feel comfortable that you know that project. Don't feel, scared about asking someone for help and they come and they tell you one line of code. Make sure you understand that line of code, but I'm not going to call you out for cheating on that one. Now, if you're doing copying and pasting, and if someone's sitting there and talking to you about how to do the code for the entire program and you just don't get it, that doesn't really do you any good, right? First of all, you're going to get a 0 on that project. Second of all, you're not going to learn anything, right? So we're going to be very strict. Actually, I have been very strict about making sure that you understand these projects. So that's actually going to entail some of these projects will actually be graded with your lab instructor and the TA during lab hours. So some of these you'll just turn in. Some of these you'll actually sit there with the TA and the instructor and get a grade from them. So that means they're going to look at your code and ask you questions about it. Okay? Is that clear? All right, and I'll let you know beforehand which labs will be actually graded in front of the instructor. Questions about that? No? Okay, so that's the first thing is the projects. So those are there 6 of them. You're going to turn them in, and you're going to turn them in here on Blackboard. All right, next thing, our lab exercises. Those are going to be twice a week you will get these. So you will have lots of lab exercises by the time we're done. The idea behind these lab exercises is I'm going to introduce a concept in class. You're going to go to lab, and you're actually going to write a short little program related to the topic that I covered in class. Okay? A lot of the times, also, these labs are going to help you with your projects. So you're going to do a little program, and you're going to be able to use part of that program for your larger project. Okay? So this isn't busy work. This is really to help reinforce what you are learning in class and also help you with your project. All right. Lab exercises are 10%, worth 10% of your grade. The nice thing about these is you actually turn them in online. So you're going to go to another site called Turnin, and I'll show you that. Oh, here it is right here. You're going to go to turnin.ecst.csuchico.edu. You turn your lab in there. And what it's going to do is it's actually going to grade it on the spot. So you're going to turn it in. It's going to test it. If it doesn't work, it's going to tell you this program is bad. Try doing it again. All right? And you will have the option to try and turn it in again and make sure it works. All right? So these you can turn in over and over and over again until they work. All right? Any questions about those? Oh, all right, I'm going to show you an example of all of this in a minute. Let me just go finish through all of this. Sorry, there's quite a bit. Yeah?
So is the lab, is it like basically pass or fail? You can't really get like a PhD on it?
Yeah, on the lab it's either pass or fail, exactly. So it's either it works or it doesn't work. And it's the 0 if it doesn't work, even though you tried your best, and it's 100% if it does work. That's just kind of the nature of this testing site that we have. Okay? Good question. Good point. All right. Next, quizzes. So we're going to have some group lectures. That's why I put you guys into groups. The group lecture is that you guys, at the end of the week, after I've talked about one subject, you guys are going to, as a group, talk amongst each other. You're going to have one person that's going to lead your group lecture. And when I say lecture, it's not like you're going to have to stand up here and give a lecture. You're going to just talk in your group and give your own little lecture. Once you're done with your group lecture, you're going to take a quiz. So we're going to do in-class quizzes. So that's another reason why you need a laptop in here, because you're going to do the work as a group and then take a quiz as a group. Okay, so that's the other part of this, is that this type of quiz when you're in a group is it's not going to be an individual quiz, it's going to be a group quiz. So you guys are all going to take the quiz, but you guys can work together. Again, the group work is there just to re-emphasize what I talked about earlier in the week. Okay? Questions about that? No? All right. The other type of quizzes you're going to get are some that you're going to do on your own. There's going to be very few of those. However, there is going to be one this week where you're going to take your own self-paced online quiz at home. Okay? That is going to also happen in Blackboard. Okay, so a quick review. Projects, you turn in on Blackboard. Labs, you turn in on Turnin. Quizzes are going to be on Blackboard. So pretty much so far, and this is going to be the rule here, you turn everything in on Blackboard except for the labs. Okay, I'm sorry I'm giving you guys all these different type of quizzes, labs, assignments, projects, but that's just the best way it came out in terms of organizing this class. All right, moving on. We've got one more thing called assignments. Assignments are just these things that didn't really fit really well under projects or labs. They're going to also mostly be group work. However, once again, you're going to have an individual assignment that you're going to do on your own. Okay? So here's my example. The first assignment is actually group work. You're going to do a group video. All right? So this week, you're going to meet as a group somewhere, and I'm going to give you, I'll show you more about this in a second too. You're going to meet somewhere off campus, and you're going to do a short video introducing each other. This is one of those just get to know you kind of group videos. You're going to turn that in also here on Blackboard. Okay. Let's see. The second assignment is an individual assignment where you're going to use something called Maze via Blockly. Has anyone heard of the Hour of Code? Yes? Okay. So this is kind of a takeoff of the Hour of Code. So the Hour of Code, what you did was you had like this little guy in a maze, and you had to make him go through the maze. All right. Same idea here. What this is all about is just to show you some of the concepts of programming without actually having to know any code. Okay, so I will show you that in a minute too. Got a lot to show you, don't I? All right, so again, overall, assignments are these random things that I couldn't give that they're not either projects or labs or just more work for you. All right, again, everything on that is turned in on Blackboard. All right, finally, we've got exams. So we have a midterm that's worth 15%. That'll be right in the middle of the semester. And your final exam is worth 25% of your overall grade. Okay, so that's all of the graded work. There's also going to be something called extra credit quizzes. So your extra credit quiz will be things that I'll be doing here in class during lecture. So during lecture, I'm going to be covering some concept, and I'm going to go, okay, time for a quick little quiz. And the quiz is going to actually be online. So it's going to be on your computer or on your smartphone. We are going to be using some brand new software called the Reef quizzing software. Does that sound exciting? So has anyone used iClickers? This little thing here? Yeah? So Reef is actually the next generation part, I guess version 2.0 of iClicker. So instead of having to carry around that little remote, iClicker has moved to new technology called Reef. And with that, you can take your quizzes either on your smartphone or on your computer. You don't need to carry around that little remote. And since we're the first ones on campus doing that, no charge. This is free, so you guys don't have to buy anything or set anything up because you guys are you're the beta testers for Reef technology. All right, so you get to also give us feedback in terms of how it's working for you because you guys are the first ones on campus using it. Okay. All right, so here's our overview one more time. We've got projects, 40%, labs, 10%, quizzes is 5% of your grade, assignments is another 5%, midterm 15%, and final 25%. All right, I realize it's kind of a lot to take in all at once, but I don't know another way to do it. I just got to show it all to you. Questions? Okay, so let's go through a little bit more on this. This is really important, is the honesty and the cheating policy. I am very strict about this, and I do turn people in every semester for cheating. I don't want to have to do that this semester. I feel strongly because if you are cheating and not doing your own work, then you're not learning, right? On top of that, if you are cheating and you're passing the class and you go on to the next class, they're not going to understand what I was teaching you in this class because you'll be so far behind. They won't, they'll say, what did you learn in this class? If you really did cheat your way through it. Okay. The other thing is, if you're cheating your way through the system, it's going to make Chico State look bad, right? Because you're going to go and you're going to get a job and you're going to sit in front of a computer, if you're computer science majors, and you're going to not know what to do. So it makes Chico State look bad as well. So I am very strict about this. If I do find that you did cheat on a lab or a program or assignment or anything, you get a 0 on that assignment. If you do it a second time, you fail the class, right? On that first time that you cheat, not only do you get a 0 on the assignment, then I also turn you in over to Student Judicial Affairs, right? So they will have a record of that, that incident, right? And that is just to make sure that if you cheat in this class and you cheat in some other class, they know about that. Because as instructors, we don't really talk to each other and say this person cheated. We need one central reporting agency, which is Student Judicial Affairs, to know if people are cheating. And if you cheat a second time through them, it's also really bad news. So just make sure we don't cheat. How's that? All right, here's the whole list of what we consider cheating. Basically, I think the overview works for what I gave you, which is if you understand your code and you did really write all that code, then you're not cheating. It's okay to get help, okay? But make sure that help that you're getting is not too much help. All right. I always hate this first part. It feels like all I'm talking about all morning is cheating. But it's important, so make sure you understand the concept of cheating. Let's see, policies, standards, confidentiality. This is other stuff that you guys can look at, read for your amazement and amusement. That's it for the syllabus. Any questions about the syllabus? Nope, okay, good. Let's go back and look at our schedule. So again, this is going to show you everything that you have to do during the week. So the very first thing that you guys have to do is, like I had already mentioned, this group project. So assignment 0 is a group video. So if you click on that, you can look at it. Let's talk through it so you know what you need to do. You're going to create a short video, hence the name. The video needs to be taken off campus at some interesting location. All right, so you're going to have to decide when and where to do that. Let's see, first say where you are. So when you are doing this video, the first thing you're going to do is someone's going to need to introduce the group, say where you're at. And then what you're going to do is you're going to make sure you introduce everybody in the group. So the way it's going to look is you're going to say, hi, my name is so-and-so, and you're going to say, and this is my group member, Bob. You're going to record Bob, right? And he's going to say, hi, my name is Bob. And what he's got to do is tell what special superpower he has. This is to make it interesting, right? Not just someone's name. So everyone has a superpower, right? Is it too early for superpowers? No? All right, so you're going to have to figure out what your superpower is. You're going to say, hi, this is my superpower, this is what I do with it, and then you're going to turn and you're going to introduce the next person in the group. And they're going to say what their superpower is. And you're going to go around the whole group till you're all done. That's it. Very quick video. Again, this really is just so you guys can get to know each other. Okay? All right, so once that video is finished, what you're going to do is you're going to turn your video in right here on Google Drive. All right, so if you click on Google Drive, you get this link, click on the link, and you're going to upload your video right here. Okay? All right. Let's see. I was going to show you guys a sample video. Oh yeah, why don't I have time? Let me do that real quick. So I'll show you a video from last semester, just so you get an idea. Let's see if we have sound. So this was a group of just 2 people.
We are an abandoned creek bed off campus.
Sort of off
We're
campus.
in Chico Way. And this is Trevor. And what is your superpower, Trevor?
My superpower, I can blow bubbles with my tongue. Here it goes.
Don't get it.
Oh, there we go.
Woo!
Nice.
All right, this is Jake. Jake, what is your superpower?
I can turn invisible.
Yeah. Very creative. All right. Don't try the creek bed thing right now. I think I would advise against that one. So something really simple like that. You don't actually have to have the superpower. You can just make it up. You don't have to demonstrate it. All right. Any questions about the group assignment? All right. How about when it's due? It's probably a good thing, huh? All right. So I make this very simple for everything. Everything is due by Friday at midnight of the week that it's assigned. Okay? So everything that's listed here, all this stuff for this whole week, all of that is due by this Friday at midnight. Okay? And if you try to turn it in after midnight, the link, actually no, that's not a very good example. The link disappears. All right? So here would be a good one. So here's this maze program that you guys have to work on. This link right here, if it's after Friday at midnight, the link here is gone. So you can't turn it in anymore. Okay? So definitely do this, several, not minutes, but maybe even hours before midnight on Friday, because you don't want to come and have all this work done and go to turn it in and have the link gone. Okay? I do not accept things, any of your assignments or labs or projects, I don't accept them emailed to me. So please don't email me any of your work. Okay? Not only does it cause a little disturbance for me because I have to figure out how to hang on to that and put it somewhere else, it's also just not a good habit for you guys to get in to say, oops, sorry, I missed the deadline, here's my assignment. If there is some situation that you guys run into that makes it that you can't turn in your work, I get it, right? But what you need to do is you need to come talk to me during my office hours, and we'll work something out, okay? I don't want an email. I want you to come to my office hours and talk to me, and that's how we can figure out how you can get that assignment that you missed turned in, okay? So no emails about, here's my late work. I missed the deadline by a minute. You missed the deadline by a minute, all right? You can come talk to me, but don't email it to me, okay? All right, so again, everything listed here, all assignments, labs, projects, everything is due by the Friday after it's assigned. There's one kind of little caveat on that, is that the projects, so there's 6 projects, you'll see when they are due. So your very first project is due here during week number 3. And then another 2 weeks from there, your second project is due Friday at midnight of week number 5. And then this one here, this text adventure game, this is actually going to be due week 7, Friday at midnight. Right? You guys see that. So all 6 projects are listed here on this final right column. And then finally, project 6 is due during dead week, right before finals. Okay? All right. All right, so we got that. Next, lab 1. So this is what you guys are actually going to be doing in lab today, is getting used to the lab environment. So when you guys go upstairs to the lab, you're going to be working on a Linux system. Has anyone worked on a Linux system before? Just a couple? All right. Everyone see whose hands are up? Those 2? All right, good. So they might be able to help you as well. So if I can't help you or Jaime can't help you, maybe one of these guys can help with some Linux setup. So the first lab is just basically having you log into the system. Once you log in, it's going to have you do something called make a directory. So what we're doing in this class, and if you continue on to 211 and 311, so if you're computer science majors, You definitely need to know how this all works. Even if you're not a computer science major, you're going to need to know how this works for this class. You are not going to be using a GUI drag and drop type of system. You guys are going to be doing a lot right at the command line. So you're going to have to know a lot of commands. The first command you're going to need to know is this one called mkdir, which stands for make directory, which is just like making a folder, but you get to type it in instead of click and make a new folder. So you're going to make a directory. You're going to change into that directory. So cd means change directory. You're going to change directory into labs. That's just like if you were going to click on a folder and open it. Okay? I'm going to show you guys all this during lab just so you are familiar with it. I just want to go through it quickly right now. Then you're going to make another directory. You're going to change into that one. And then you're going to start practicing with a tool that I'm going to highly encourage you guys to use to create your programs. So you are going to use a tool called Vim. Vim is just an editor. It's a text editor. It's just like Word, just like Pages, whatever you guys use as a text editor. However, this text editor is controlled at the command line level. Okay? So you're going to learn how Vim works because that's where you're going to actually type in all your code for all your programs. Right? So this one's just going to walk you through some of the basics of Vim. Open it, type in your name, and then you're going to save your program. And then once you're done with that, you're going to look a little bit at Turn-In. So Turn-In is where you're going to turn in your labs. So you're going to click on this. You're going to go to Turn-In. You're going to create an account on Turn-In because you'll need an account to actually turn stuff in. You're going to enroll in the correct section. So you are in 111 section 4. So when you create your account on Turn-In, you're going to make sure that you go to 111.4. If you go to 111. Something else, you'll be turning in your projects or your labs to the wrong class, which won't do you any good. So make sure you sign up for .4. That's why I have it in red. And then you're going to submit your very first lab and see that it submitted successfully. So I know that was just a really quick overview. I'm going to go through this in lab with you guys just so you know what you're doing. And Jaime will go through this in lab as well. All right, so that's the lab. Questions about that? Nothing yet. Okay, next. We got a lot to do today. Sorry, guys. It seems like it's just me rambling on more and more up here, but here. We need to set stuff up so we can be ready to go. All right, next thing that I want you to do. So these are the 3 things that you should do today. Even though they're due Friday, you need to do all three of these things before we meet again. All right? Because once we're done with these 3, we're going to move on to the next 3. So it's going to be quite a bit of work. So make sure you get all 3 of these things done before we meet again. Maybe the group video, you at least should be able to, you need to talk with your group members, and I'll give you guys a minute to do that, just a second, to figure out when you're going to meet. But let me show you the last thing that you need to do before we meet again, which is the pre-course setup. So, the very first thing is working on Jaguar. Jaguar is the Linux system that I was just talking about. So this just talks a little bit more in detail about what you're going to do during your lab. So your lab today, like I said, you're going to sign on to the Linux system and you're going to create a little program. Actually, you're just going to create a text document. The next thing that I already talked about was Reef. So this is going to be our in-class quiz system. How many people have a laptop with them right now? Everybody? All right, so let's check this out, shall we? Let's see how this works. So you're going to need to go to this PDF. So if you're on Blackboard, you can go to the PDF and read about it. But basically what you need to do, if you're not in Learn, is I want you to go to this website right here. So app.reef-education.com. Okay? See how that works. I will try it too. Oh. Why did that do that? I'm connected. Good, this is beta software. Oh, there's a number, thank you. Why is it doing a number when I do a copy and paste? And that's not how you spell education. Try that again. No. Okay, this is a pretty good test so far. There we go. Perfect. So don't copy and paste because it messes up for some reason. You're copying and pasting. And what you're going to do is you're going to create a new account. You're going to fill in all this information. And make sure you put your student ID number. All right? So right here is your student ID number. Make sure you put that in there because that's how I'm going to correlate what you do on this system, and be able to upload all that to Blackboard so you can get credit for doing these quizzes. Okay? So you're going to go through all this. If you don't have your computer with you right now, that's fine, because what I have is, let me back out one more second, is right here within pre-course setup. In pre-course setup, right here is the instructions on how to sign up for REEF. Right? So you're going to read through the PDF, and then I want you to put in this access code, unless you want to pay. If you want to pay for it, you can, but this is your free trial, or your actually free use of this for the semester, is this access code. So when it goes and asks for payment, you should be putting in this access code. Okay? I want you guys, again, to do all of this before the time we meet again on Wednesday, because I'm going to start using REEF on Wednesday. So I'm going to do a couple little in-class quizzes on Wednesday. So make sure this is all set up. Okay. The last thing that you need to sign up for is this. And I'm actually going to talk more about this on Wednesday, so don't worry about registering for Piazza. But on Wednesday, I'll show you how to register for Piazza. So that is a nice group message board. So if you guys have questions about the labs or anything I talked about in class, this is the place where you're going to post your questions. So I'm going to be able to answer your questions, Jaime can answer questions, or any of you can answer each other's questions. It's just a central place to post questions about labs and projects and classwork. Okay? We're going to cover this on Wednesday. All right, so before we go, I need you guys to, before you leave this room, you as a group need to decide where and when you're going to meet this week. All right? So take the next couple minutes to talk about where and when you're going to meet to do your group video.
Pretty free.